Hi everyone. So in today's we will discuss about what is data blending in Tableau and how can we achieve that. So first of all, data blending is nothing but to perform the analysis using two or more different data sources. We can achieve that by using the data blending here. And I already prepared the few data sets. I will show you what it is. So in this Excel file, I have the some students details data, and I have the gender details in one of the file in Notepad file. Okay, so now I want to show the what is the gender of what is the gender of the student name I want to know in Tableau. Okay, so first let me connect to that Excel file first. So here you need to choose the Excel connection, and there you need to pull the data into Tableau here, and where I saved it into my desktop, and the file name is data blending student fee details. Okay, and here I have that I have connected to the student details, and by default it is added into the data source page here. And if you go to the sheet 1, and here I can see the student name and as well student course fees. Okay, now I want to see the each student gender details. Okay, so that file is located in the data is located in notepad file. Okay, so now I want to connect to that another file also, right? So here you can use this connection plus symbol, new data source symbol, and you can click on it, and here you need to choose the text file connection because my data is in text file, right? So after clicking on that, it will navigate to the that path, and here you need to choose that where your gender details is locating. Okay, data blending student gender details. So after connecting that, you can go to the sheet 1 here. So the data so blending can be performed at the worksheet level. Okay, not at the data source level. Okay, so here yeah, so this is my students details data table, and this is my student gender details table, right? And I want to drag this into gender. So if you see, and if you simply drag this file, it will not give you the expected results. And to get the gender details of each student name, so you need to add the relationship between the first data source and the second data source. The field which you dragged for the first time, the data source we can consider as a primary data source, and rest of all data sources you can consider as a secondary data sources here. So and here you need to identify which is the common column between the these both data source to perform the data blending. Okay, and here my common column is student id. If you see here, student id is available in the student details course fee details table, and student gender details table also we have the student id. And so how to enable the relationship between these two files, and you can go to the data option, and here you can click on the edit blend relationship, and here you need to select the which is the primary data source and which is the secondary data source. Okay, so now it is selected by default. If it is not selected by default, you can select it manually. You may need to select it manually. And here it is sometimes what happened, so when it is a automatic option selected, so by default it will read your data, and it will identify the which is the common column between the these two data sources. And if it is not, you can go to the custom option, and here you can choose it manually by selecting the add option. So here, so this is my primary data source, and in the secondary data source also you need to map the common column. Okay, once you click on ok button, it will enable the relationship now. And if you go here, so once you added the relationship, here you can see some images, right? It is now in inactive mode. Okay, so if you want to activate it, you need to click on this link option. Now it is enabled the relationship between the primary source and the secondary source. Now if you see how to recognize which is the primary and secondary data source, the primary data source will indicate in a blue color tick mark, and the secondary data source will indicate in a orange color tick mark. Okay, so once you are selecting the primary data source, you will see the primary data source fields, and if you go to the secondary data source, you will see the secondary data source fields here. Now you need to drag the gender column into here. Okay, so if you see here, I can see the gender details of each student wise, right? Why I am getting the Damodar is null and Seema is null? Because I don't have the, I'm having the Seema 1011 here, but here I don't have the 1011 record, so that's why it is not coming up. Okay, as well, if you see here, 1007 we have it, and 1007 we don't have here. Okay, that's why. So those both two records are coming as null. And if you see here, and by default it will perform the left outer join in data blending, and there is no option to change it to other join types. Okay, so this is the data blending, guys. Hope you understand it. Thank you.